Hi from New Mexico, Waffle Tears. I have decided to share my grandma's angel biscuit recipe with you guys. I was on the other day and made a little bit of an ask for a fundraiser, and some of you responded, and I just really appreciate it. So I just wanted to get on in person and say, hey, I love you, I miss you, and I feel like sharing. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go out of the frame because I don't know how to do these. So I've got water. I've got warm water, so it's like baby warm water, like how you would, if you had tender skin, you would take a bath at more than a lukewarm, but not hot. This is yeast. I'm gonna put that in there. A little bit of sugar. I'm gonna tell you the exact amounts. I'm gonna give those to you like actually written down. I had to cut it down so we could have a smaller size than what I used to do for the Waffle House. This is more of like a family-sized waffle dough recipe. So I've got 5 cups of flour in here, and then this is my handy dandy pastry cutter. So this looks like a little ninja sort of tool. So you're gonna put salt, baking powder, get out of there, baking powder, baking soda in your flour. And then I just always stir it up so it kind of gets incorporated. And then you use shortening. And then cubed very, very cold butter. So this I actually had in the freezer after I chopped it up into little pieces. You're gonna wanna chop that all in here until it gets like pebble-sized pieces rather. So something that I wanted to share while I'm doing this about using half butter and half shortening is that you might think butter makes it better, which it does, and that you should go all butter. I did try that. I thought, oh, I should do that. Butter's healthier, more natural than, a shortening would be. So I gave that a go. I thought, oh, we'll see what this does. Turns out not as good. I cannot improve upon my grandma's angel biscuit recipe. So definitely, even if you think you're not a shortening person, shortening is the way to go in this. And actually my grandma's recipe for pie dough, the same thing. Like I've tried 100 different, probably that's exaggeration, but at least 20, 25 different, like all butter recipes for pie dough. And that's a no for me. Like I have to use some shortening in it, at least half and half, or actually I generally go all shortening for that. So anyways, I'm getting pretty close here. Those pieces of butter were really nice and cold, so I'm still trying to get my workout here. Just my right arm workout. That's why I'm really buff here, not so much here. Just kidding. Anyway, so I try to make it kind of look like sand, like big, clumpy, pebbly sand in all that flour. So, how are you guys doing anyways? I sure miss you. I heard something cool. I heard in the old waffle spot there's gonna be a new donut shop, which it's some local people that have a place in Salem, and they're gonna have a second space. I just heard that through the grapevine. I think you should go see them. Like, support our little small people when they get open. That space needs to have some joy in it still. And you guys were what brought the joy to the place. Anyways, okay. So I see some clumpy, lumpy things in there. Now, let me get these last little bits of buttery yumminess off of here. In the meantime, the yeast has bubbled and frothed up. So that did its, what do they call it? Bloom. That's the technical term for what that's done. So it is bloomed. So I'm gonna put that in here. So we've got all the dry ingredients mixed up with the butters or the fats. Get this all out of here. And so I used this giant thing with it only had a half a cup of water in it, just sheer because I'm lazy, because I'm about to put 2 cups of milk in here. And I didn't want to dirty 2 things. So right now this is my fake milk because I've been doing some fake milks lately. This is actually good. This is Ripple. It's like a pea protein. I like it. Ooh, I have just about exactly 2 cups left of that. So this is what I use in my coffee generally. And for cooking, skipping some of the lactose problems. So now the recipe calls for buttermilk. I don't generally ever do buttermilk. My grandma really never did buttermilk because it's not something we usually have in the house. She did a couple times. I have a few times. It's tasty, but it's tasty no matter how you do it. So the way that I learned to do it is this is just apple cider vinegar. We do this also with our pie crusts in my family. And then you would add just a little bit of that. And it just kind of curdles the milk a little bit. So that's like the trick to making buttermilk. So you can use your, like you could do cream or regular milk. Obviously I'm doing my not real milk right now. So just kind of stir that up. That becomes another wet ingredient. And that goes in here as well. You're not gonna get a full curdle out of that, so don't keep adding it till it gets a curdle. I had a worker who will remain nameless who did that once and made sour biscuits. So we sold sour biscuits for the first hour or 2 of the day until I found out that was really on. Anyway, so now you're just going to stir that until it gets like all moistened basically. Like it's not science here, but you just see that like all the flour, the powdery thing is disappearing, and it is very, very wet still at this point. So that is how this is supposed to be. It's a really wet dough. So the thing that gets this to develop its kind of yeasty flavor, that looks about good, that develops the yeasty flavor is that we're gonna sit this in the refrigerator overnight. Just that's how we do it. You can have it in there up to 7 days. That's how my grandma would do. So you can do several different things with this dough. So number one is the things that if you've had biscuits at Downtown Waffle, this is the kind of biscuit you had. You just would roll this out on a really kind of floury thing, and you actually knead it a little bit. So that would be tomorrow, next day. You knead it up fairly decently, pounds out your biscuits, put them on a pan, cook them in the oven. Again, I'm going to give you the directions on that, but or the times and the degrees. So that's one thing you would do. You can actually knead it up a little bit, roll it out. You could then put butter and cinnamon sugar and kind of do a cinnamon roll, which it's really pretty good. It's actually a great cinnamon roll like day of. It has to be heated up, so it's not as good like for the second day cinnamon roll. I have a different cinnamon roll recipe if I was gonna do second day, or try to get them to last a little bit, but they're really good day of. What I'm gonna do with this is use it like, you get that pop can of biscuit dough or whatever and turn it into monkey bread. I'm gonna make monkey bread with this actually for my family. So I'm gonna do like an apple fritter monkey bread. I'm gonna take this, roll it into balls, dip it in butter, cinnamon sugar, throw chopped up little pieces of apple. I'll probably try to put a picture of that when that happens anyways, so before it all gets scarfed up. Anyway, so that's the biscuit dough. That's how you make these, and I sure do miss you guys. I hope you're well. I'm gonna actually come over and get that camera and show you out my window what it's like to live in sunny New Mexico because we get here and I took a picture of myself. We are actually up in northern New Mexico. So sunny New Mexico and northern New Mexico looks like this today. So anyways, I hope you're all well. I miss you. Take care.